My job is running Army Strategic Command. And Strategic Command is a new formation which was formed to group all the fighting units in the United Kingdom so that we could be ready to cope with any emergency in any part of the world. To do all this, we've got to be highly trained, we've got to be able to move very quickly, we've got to be mobile, and we've got to be very adaptable. We have large-scale exercises which involve the whole range of the modern equipment and techniques in the British Army to back up our troops in NATO. At the same time, we have to have a lot of lightly equipped exercises in almost every part of the world so that at any time we're ready to work in snow or in the desert or in the jungle or in European conditions. And everybody, pretty well everybody, in the Army Strategic Command gets abroad at least once every year for an exercise, anything ranging from 2 to 6 weeks or more in almost any part of the world. And this year, for instance, we're doing something like 137 exercises in about 27 different countries.
Well, I've been in the Army about 18 months now. It's quite a good life, really. You do get one or two that do disagree, but you get opportunities to travel and various other things that most people in civilian life don't get. My father used to be in the mines, but he's getting old now. He wants a much lighter job, so he's come out. My mother also works, which is, she's got spare time now, seeing as most of the brothers have grown up. In fact, I have one brother who also is in the Army. He's in Norway at present on a winter warfare training scheme. And very shortly, I shall be on my way to Jamaica on a jungle scheme.
My husband and I were both in the forces over in Singapore, and we met and finally got married out there. We loved Singapore, we'd like to go back. We came back here not expecting to get a quarter because we haven't been married very long. We've only been married 11 months, but we were lucky. We have a 3-bedroomed house, which is centrally heated and furnished by the Army. My husband is a corporal, and like most of the rest of the regiment, is off to Jamaica in a couple of days. Although I can't go with him this time, perhaps there'll be a next time, and I hope he'll bring me something nice back.
All over the battalion, the soldiers are now packing up, packing freight for Jamaica, preparing their own kit. Documents such as medical documents are being checked, soldiers are being weighed, and the kit packed in the correct places. Already the advance party has left for Jamaica, and in the next 2 or 3 days the remainder of the battalion will be moving. This exercise is designed firstly to practice the battalion in an air move, secondly in training in adverse conditions in a different theatre and different climate, and thirdly in anti-guerrilla operations in jungle country. This is not an exceptional exercise. In fact, there have been some 34 exercises in 20 different countries involving some 15,000 men in the last 6 months. One bonus of this particular exercise is that we are dropping off 1 platoon of men in Bermuda, and we're taking some Bermudans to Jamaica to train with us there.
The battalion's going to be in Jamaica for 4 weeks. The purpose of the exercise is to get first-hand knowledge in jungle training. This will be a new experience for many of the soldiers. We leave the airport and move to Port Antonio, which is on the north side of the island. We have a camp there which the battalion has set up, and we will be operating from there, going out both daily and staying out at 2 or 3 days at a time. The training to start off with will be relatively simple: navigation and familiarisation with the jungle itself. After that we move on to immediate action drills, harbouring up for the night and attacking an enemy camp. Although the battalion has moved around a bit in the last few years, for many of the soldiers this is the first time in the tropics. Obviously everybody has their own preconceived idea of what jungle is like. In Jamaica it is primary jungle, which means that it has not been cut.
Well, we came over here on the advance party, and one of the main tasks that we had to do was to go out and recce the various training areas so that when the battalion came here we could tell them which area to use for which particular type of training they wanted to do. We went out by land over the first day and we were dropped off by the edge of the jungle, and we set off on our own on our first 3-day recce. We've got our own food, our own cooking kit, our own tents for sleeping at night time. So we were off on the 3 days, the three of us being Captain Day, who spent a lot of time in the jungles in Borneo and Malaya. Myself, who have just come back from a jungle warfare course in Malaya, spent quite a bit of time out in the jungle. And the third member, Private Pete, who's not really had a lot of experience in the jungle, and all this is quite new to him.
Up to now I've never had any training in jungles at all. My training's been done in Norway, where I did a winter warfare course, in Germany for the European type training, and in Aden and Libya for desert training. I came out here expecting to find a hot, steamy, wet and sweaty jungle. I was quite surprised when I found the ground to be very hard and of a corally surface. There were no snakes or insects other than mosquitoes to worry us. We did quite a lot of work plotting out different routes that the battalion would be able to take once they were out doing the different kinds of training. We covered a lot of different types of territory too. Hills, valleys, ravines, and a couple of mangrove swamps. Crossing a mangrove swamp, you only travel at about 300 yards in an hour, but we were able to skirt around these and carry on. As we were fully self-contained, we were carrying our own compo rations. We could cook a meal for ourselves, get down, and at night time have a good night's sleep in a basha.
The normal routine for the soldiers in the camp is we get up at 6 o'clock every morning, this is. And when we get up, it's quite warm, and therefore, you know, one doesn't mind getting up at this early hour in the morning. We then go down to the wash house. If you fancy a swim in the morning, the sea's quite warm, and you can just go in and get a swim. Most lads usually go have a shower, or just have a wash and have a shave and things like this. Breakfast is usually from 7 to 7:45, and you go down there, get your breakfast, then we go back to our tents and get ready for the next duty, which probably we might be going out training in the jungle or around the camp area itself. Well, in the jungle itself, it was quite an experience to me. Having been told about jungle warfare, the type that some of our lads have actually been through, but actually going into the jungle rather shocked me. I did experience a bit of dense type of forest, which it was, but the ground itself was like a volcanic lava where, it was all rocks underneath you. Animals and snakes, I thought, well, a tropical place, you do generally get snakes and things of this nature. But there we never see nothing at all. In fact, at night time we probably got something like a rat and you'd see this little black thing shoot over your feet, more or less. The river, there's a river called the Rio Grande, and it's heaven send, it is, this river. After coming out of the jungle, completely all hot and sticky and smelling. You know, if my wife could have smelt me then, you know, I think, you know, she'd have just disowned me. And then hitting the water itself, the coolness of it, you know, was really fantastic.
It really is nice, especially when you've been trapping in the jungle. You want to break away from it, and this is the ideal place for it. Well, we get around in the Land Rovers quite a lot on exercises on the way out onto patrols. Not too far away from the camp, but in the Blue Mountain area. That's the mountains overlooking the camp. And what we've seen of the island while we've been driving along the roads and everything, it really is breathtaking. And some of the scenery is quite fantastic. Spots of it, little places you go through, it looks a little bit like England, but you soon get round the corner and you see the coconut palms and banana trees and the beautiful bluey green sea.
Well, we've been in the jungle now off and on for 3 weeks, and it's totally unlike anything we'd done before. The terrain underfoot is very difficult to march through. We were always seem to be marching up and down hill, and sometimes pushing our way through dense undergrowth, and occasionally cutting our way. We spent last night in the jungle in a basher encampment. It's very dark, sort of eerie, with fireflies buzzing around us. I joined the army at 15. I spent 2.5 years in the junior leaders and another 3 years in the battalion. When I joined the battalion, we went out to Cyprus, and from there I did a 2-month tour in Libya. Both those countries were totally unlike Jamaica. I saw it in a few magazines in England before I came out, in the tourist magazines, and it looked terribly expensive. It is what we expected. It's a rich man's paradise, but it's nice to be here anyway, you know.
The sea is beautiful, and it's the best beach I've ever seen. And I've seen beaches in Africa and Cyprus which are very nice, but these don't compare at all with the Jamaica beach.
Our final exercise here in Jamaica is a surprise attack on an enemy guerrilla camp. After this, we're going to fly back to England in a few days' time. We've planned to come in by local fishing boat so that our main attack will come from the unexpected direction. The enemy is provided by some of our own lads. Some of them have had real experience of this sort of warfare in Borneo, and it could be difficult to catch them out by surprise. The Bermudians training with us are going to go upriver and get round behind the enemy's camp so they can cut off their retreat when our main attack comes. We are putting everything we've learnt in Jamaica to the test in this exercise, and the whole thing is going to be done as realistically as we can possibly make it.
Sounds another brand new musical disc from the flick of our musical red. Bass sound! What's on the end of one of the musical square?
I think the major change probably in the Army in the years that I've been serving is that the present soldier is far more professional than he ever was before. They're all volunteer soldiers with an average of about 5 years service who are highly professional in their trade. The infantryman in particular too has several trades to learn. With all the introduction of the new equipment which we've had, he has to be a technical man as well as being a fighting, tough, professional soldier.
You do have your bad times as well as your good. Same as if you're on a scheme. If bad weather sets in, such as rain, it can make it very uncomfortable for you. But afterwards, you seem to be glad of it and sort of laugh about it.
The second point, I think, is that the numbers of exercises that we're doing now around the world has increased out of all recognition. And the role, of course, of Strategic Command cuts right across the board, from internal security through every phase of war, right up to a major conflict in Europe. And so there must be variety in every bit of training that we do.
The army itself is sort of like a syndicate, same as at home. If you're ever stuck anywhere, you've got your mates to get you out of a jam and help you out.